Digi's here now, and with her, Lucy Alexander, who we first met in October 2016 when she told us about losing her own son Felix to bullying, and whose words were the inspiration behind the whole campaign. Lucy, I remember when you sat on the sofa and told us the story about your son, and then very shortly after that we had Nicola Hartevelde, who'd lost Megan in very similar circumstances. And I remember Phil and as a whole programme, we just sat there and went, we don't want anyone else to sit on our sofa and tell us this story of losing a child to these circumstances, this unnecessary bullying that goes on within school.
Oh, from the moment I lost Felix, that was what I felt. I knew immediately that I had to talk about it, that I had to try and stop it happening to someone else. It just felt like I had to give him the voice that he didn't have.
Well, it's also in the case of Felix and so many of the other stories that that those bullies don't realise the power of their words. They may say something that's quite unkind, but they don't realise that at the end of that day there have been hundreds of things that have been said that have been unkind, like 1,000 cuts in a day. And it can be one thing that you say you could be responsible. You say that one thing that is just too much, and then tragedy happens. And the response has been huge. Have you been pleased with the response?
I've been thrilled by it. I mean, I have a particularly sort of good view of my own local area, and I know in the West Midlands it has been taken up by so many schools, so many people, so many schools have taken the resource pack. All the kids were talking about it, and I think it has had a really big impact,
well,
really big impact.
150,000 of our wristbands distributed, 13,295 teachers' resource packs, 275,000 pledges to stamp out bullying. Our video has had 7 million views, and you saw the Prime Minister wearing our wristband there. So it's slow, but it's a start.
But it is a real reach out, isn't it? And I think it's also helping children understand. It's like you said, they have a responsibility. You know, if you say something cruel and unkind to somebody, there really can be a repercussion from that. So it's both making the victims of bullying, helping them understand there really is support out there. It's not something you've just got to suffer with by yourself. And also the other kids understand that you have a responsibility for how you behave and how you impact on others.